Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, mental training is the practice of using sports psychology tools and techniques to strengthen an athlete's mental game. With mental training for young athletes, the goal is to build a strong foundation of mental skills. Now, this is going to be very similar to the approach that's taken to build physical skills. Because when a child takes up a sport, a good coach will evaluate where they are, look for their strengths they already have and any weaknesses that may be present, and then from there, from that initial starting point, they will work on developing the young athlete's physical skills. And this is done through drill work and continual focus on mechanics and the fundamentals of their game. In a similar way, when a young athlete begins with mental training, the mental coach evaluates their current strengths and weaknesses and then moves forward from there. To train and strengthen the mind, there are specific skills that are focused on. The tools and techniques used within mental training focus on cultivating those specific skills, because we know that as the skills develop, the young athlete's mindset is going to be strengthened. And the skills taught in young athlete mental training can be seen as the fundamentals of a strong mental game. Much like a young athlete needs to learn the basics of catching, throwing, shooting, or running, they also need to learn the basics of confidence, calming their nerves, managing mistakes, and so on. So let's break down the top 6 fundamentals taught within young athlete mental training to give you a better idea of what it takes to build a strong mental game in your child. The first is managing mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen, right? No matter how old the athlete is or how talented they are, one inevitable fact of playing sports is that mistakes will happen. So the question isn't, will they make a mistake? It's, how will they respond when they do make a mistake? That's why a key fundamental of a strong mental game is learning how to positively and productively manage mistakes. This helps the young athlete not only bounce back quickly from mistakes during games, but also learn from mistakes. And learning from mistakes is one of the best ways that they can improve moving forward. Another skill is building confidence. Not only is it crucial for a young athlete to learn the fundamentals of building confidence, but they also need to learn the fundamentals of where their confidence comes from. When a young athlete's confidence relies too heavily on external factors, so things outside of their control, this typically leads to fragile confidence as they get older. Meaning, one bad game can significantly lower how confident they feel. Or if coach gets mad at them, they begin doubting themselves more and more. By learning where their confidence comes from and how to build true confidence within themselves, a young athlete is learning a key fundamental of a strong mental game. And then a third fundamental of a strong mental game is focus. Knowing how to improve their focus, but also being able to recognize what distracts them and when they become distracted is a key foundational skill for young athletes to learn. When a young athlete struggles with focus during practice or during games, what's happening is that they're focusing on something they don't want to be focused on. Their focus isn't lost, it's just misplaced. With mental training, the young athlete learns how to become aware in these moments that they are distracted, and then develop the mental strength to let go of the distraction and then refocus themselves. Then another mental skill is calming their nerves. It's natural to feel nervous before a game, but what we want to make sure of is that these nerves do not turn into full-blown performance anxiety. Mental training teaches young athletes tools and techniques to calm their nerves going into a game, and it also helps them learn how to manage anxiety if they do become too worried about what may or may not happen during the game or even during practice. And then a fifth fundamental is goal setting. Proper goal setting skills are important for all athletes to learn. And with goal setting, the fundamentals have to do with all types of goals, right? From long-term goals all the way down to short-term goals. Now, a type of goal that's focused on a lot within mental training is process goals. These are those goals an athlete sets for themselves during practices or games that are part of the process. Meaning these are goals that are completely within the young athlete's control. Now, this is such a crucial fundamental for them to learn because worrying too much about the outcome is a major driving force for anxiety and fear. And then the sixth fundamental is enjoying themselves. While having fun may not seem like something that necessarily needs to be trained, it is a crucial fundamental for young athletes to learn, mainly because they're out there to have fun, right? That's why they're playing. All 5 fundamentals that I just went over work to help the athlete have more fun. Because if they're confident, focused, managing mistakes better, calming their nerves, and then also setting good goals, they're going to be enjoying themselves more. In addition to that, when a young athlete enjoys themselves while playing, they will typically play better as a result. With mental training, the young athlete will learn how to focus on what they enjoy about their sport, along with learning how to Recognize and manage external factors and ways of thinking that can keep them from having fun. Now let's go over the mental tools that are used in young athlete mental training. To build all the fundamentals that I just went over, young athlete mental training makes use of certain tools and techniques, right? So think of these like the drills a coach will use to teach a young athlete the fundamentals of their sport. To build the fundamentals of a strong mental game, similar drills need to be used. And so here are some of the main tools and techniques that are used within mental training for young athletes. There's self-talk, then there's going to be visualization, and then there's mindfulness, performance objectives, and then also some breath work, and then some reframing exercises, right? And then what we're also going to use are some performance evaluation drills and exercises where they start to reframe the way they think about their performance. Now, how can you get your young athlete started with building mental skills? To build the fundamentals of a strong mental game, a young athlete needs to make use of mental training, but how they do so can honestly vary. Now, I offer 2 ways that your young athlete can get started with mental training. One is the Mentally Tough Kid, and the other is one-on-one mental coaching. Now, with the Mentally Tough Kid, what I've done is taken the 6 fundamentals that we just went over, and I turned them into 6 modules. Within each module, the videos will teach your young athlete how to develop that specific fundamental. For example, when it comes to managing mistakes, they will learn why they get frustrated following a mistake, how to recognize when they're frustrated in the moment, how to let go of the mistake and get themselves refocused, and then much more. The videos are very active, including exercises for your young athlete to complete in their workbook. And then I will also guide them through how to complete each exercise, providing them with examples and then giving them the opportunity to complete the exercise for themselves as part of their action step. The course has over 4 hours worth of video content and is a great way for your young athlete to begin building the fundamentals of a strong mental game. So go ahead and click the link that I put in the description below to learn more about the Mentally Tough Kid course. Now, the other option that I have available is one-on-one mental coaching. Now, one-on-one mental coaching is completely personalized, and this is going to be the most in-depth form of mental training. What I will do is work directly with your young athlete on overcoming any challenges that they're facing and build strong mental skills. The coaching begins with an assessment to help me get a good idea of their mindset. From there, I create a custom mental training plan for your young athlete. Following each call, your young athlete will receive action steps for them to complete in their workbook, along with action steps for them to apply to practices and games. To learn more about one-on-one mental performance coaching for your young athlete, go ahead and click the link that I put in the description below.